Time-lapse footage of the Earth from space, video footage sped up, but the clouds don't mutate. If it's a ball, why are you faking all the footage? Huh? Why are you faking the size of continents relative to real driving distance from one coast of Canada to the other and Russia on a toy globe? If it's a ball, it's a ball. Put everything to scale. You tell me you could fit Canada twice into the length of Russia? If it's a ball, why are you faking it? If it's a ball, why does it look like a cartoon? If it's a ball, why do people say, I believe it's a ball? If it's a ball. But why is it still the theory of gravity? You didn't prove it. You only need the theory of gravity if it's a ball. That's how the whole equation starts. So, if it's not a ball, we don't need gravity. Gravity's just there to explain why the fucking shit's not flying off if we're spinning 1,000 miles an hour. It's temperature. This is ether. This is air, gas, whatever you want to call it. Ether. The original word was ether. You know, the spaces between things. And it's got a temperature. If it gets too cold, I get affected. If it gets too hot, my skin will melt off. Underneath me is stuff that'll melt my skin. We see it shoot out of volcanoes. I got dirt, rock, minerals, maybe oil, deposits. Then I got lava. Don't talk to me about the candy center, the gobstopper Earth, where there's layers of candy bar with like a chewy chocolatey center. That's nickel or iron, or I used to ask in geography. And then underneath the lava is iron. And I'm like, how'd you get through the lava to know there's iron? Matt, get out of class. Call me disruptive. They call me disruptive in geography. The class would laugh, but I would be kicked out because I was making jokes. No, I was a sincere question. How do you know the center of the Earth is nickel if you got to go through, you know, this many hundreds of miles of molten magmic lava? It's funny, eh? The center of the Earth is cartoons. Your maps are cartoons. Those aren't the real sizes of the countries. The toy globe is inaccurate. It's a toy. That's how inaccurate it is. It's a toy globe. But apparently, you can't make everything to scale if it's a globe. As long as it's 3 parts water. Here's the North Pole. Going around in circles on a floor doesn't mean you're on a sphere. Looking up at circular lights or a moon, celestial body that's circular, doesn't mean you're on a circle. You're on a sphere. Just because you got a lack of choice up there to reference doesn't mean the one object up there must mean that's what you're on. Well, I don't have a chair floating. It's not a cow. The only thing I see up there is a round thing. Well, then I must be on that. That's a little primitive. Think about it. And somebody can control that. Maybe you're just within bigger spaces between celestial phenomenon than you think. And it's not even Star Trek here. It's not space with planets and stuff like that. You never see those pictures of like Jupiter when you look at through a mechanical telescope. You need to like hub into a digital display, wait for like 10 seconds so somebody can feed you an image when you point it at the sky. But when you look through a regular telescope, you're just seeing lights. Could be pinholes in a big huge dust cloud with the sun on the other side for all you know. And it's just rotating dirt. And then the holes are basically the sun on the other side of the dirt cloud. Could be anything. Alright? I'm saying the evidence is more that it's flat, and the cover-up is now backing up flat earth conspiracy and theory more than anything. The cover-up, the lies with the images of the globe. But there's only really one way to prove this. And it's not by going up there again with another person who nobody's going to believe. People will believe me, but I'm not, you know, some people won't. They'll think I won't come back. You know? Civilians sometimes blow up in rockets. Check it out. little piece I'm working on. It's the ocean. I'm gonna put some birds coming in. They're like just torpedoing. Man, I wouldn't want to be in a submarine with that kind of conjugation. But they're going to be birds coming in, just interrupting the jellyfish, and I'm going to be painting the panic on the jellyfish. Kind of a metaphor about one world interrupting another for a client. So yeah, even though it's in a seascape, it has a lot to do with what's going on. Because they're not ready, these jellyfish, for these birds that are going to suddenly come in and then grab the fish and disrupt this world. They don't know really the other world above. You know, they'll end up on beach and then they'll die. When they find out about the other world, it's usually on their deathbed. But there is another world above the surface. But the fish don't know that. They have theories, and the fish kind of float around, and they might talk amongst each other. You know what? I think there's more stuff. There's another dimension outside of the water. And they're like, you go there, you're gonna die. I was like, well, maybe I'll die, but there is another dimension. You're crazy. It's just this. As far as the eye can see, the horizon of the seabed. The fish don't know that there's another air dimension. Maybe the whales and the mammals do, but a lot of the fish don't. A lot of like sea life don't know. Some are like 10 miles deep in the dark abyss of the sea. And that's all they know. And then once in a while a fish will go, you know what, I think if we go up, you know, we'll get a little more light to see what the fuck we're doing. And the others, are you crazy? There's nothing up there. It's dark all the way up. Plato's cave. Are you an animal? Or are you the most advanced creature with the most sophisticated surveillance system and instrumentation to assess this reality in order to understand it, build upon it, and explore its surface? Or is it, if you go high up, too high, and too far south, you'll run into brute force and someone will shoot you? That would be control. That would be the control of a perimeter. Kind of like the cows out on the ranch, and they never go beyond the fence. They don't know that there's life beyond the fence. They see it, they understand it, but they think if they go beyond that fence, they're in trouble. But they see what's beyond the fence, the cows. But they also know that there's a rancher waiting to go and grab them. I want to talk about possession. They make you think it's demonic, and it might very well be demonic possession, being a globalist, because you really are worshiping the image of the beast. As they say in the Bible, they will all bow and worship the image of the beast. And the mark of this beast is the number of a man, 666. Wow. 6, if we look into Egypt, is the eye. Right? 9 is a spiritual number. So they went to the moon in 1969 to save Newton, who was trying to save Copernicus, who came up with the theory of gravity in 1666. You will recognize the beast, for it is the number of a man. And that man is Newton. And that beast is the military-industrial complex. Let's just say we know that that's where that picture's from. Everybody who's in NASA is a military pilot or a military scientist or works for military weapons manufacturing companies. 10 of them, according to Phil Platt. If you want to go look up that. And it's funny that the status quo astrophysics community and the NASA pundits are all these funny guys now. It's like they're saving globalism. And the idea that you spin on a little ball, 1,000 miles an hour, with a moon that doesn't show you any other side of itself, bopping up and down at 65,000 miles an hour while it's spinning on itself. But you don't feel it because of this magical force, which states that when a thing is so big, things gravitate towards it. Kind of like the Queen of England, or George Bush, or stars in Hollywood. I don't give a shit about being liked by you, Dan Clark, or any of these people, Phil Hems, or shit. Well, these people that you spend all day trying to attack me. You know, you gotta sit in the bed you made. And now you gotta look at the footage that NASA provides you of the Earth from space at a distance, sped up spinning, and the clouds don't change when it's a 30% rotation in 6 seconds? I'm being generous too. I think it's like 4 seconds, it's a half turn of the planet. And the clouds don't change wildly. We're talking about a 12-hour freaking period of the day, sped up in like 6 seconds, but clouds don't change. So you gotta sit and sleep in the bed you made and say that clouds don't change when you see them. They don't morph or change. In order to save that footage, in order to save that ball, in order to save your science, in order to save NASA as a supporting evidence supplier of all of Copernicus, you gotta say that clouds don't change to win your argument. You think you're smarter than me. That's what's pathetic. And you can't let go of the fact you're not. You're not. None of you. You're not. Face it. And if you want to go there and say that clouds don't change, so you could argue that that's a real image of the Earth from space and we got one, you're possessed. You're possessed by your ego. You're jealous of the fact that you didn't see it and I had to point it out to you and I'm younger. You're an ageist. You're a baby boomer. Right? Discrimination based on age and knowledge base. Like most people who think they're older, they think they're smarter, they think they're wiser. Oh, older, smarter, and wiser. No, not necessarily. Just stagnant and rotting and waiting for retirement so you could rot on a beach. You think I'm gonna rot on a beach? Nope. I'll be in the bed dying, just moving my little fingers. And if I can't move my fingers, I'll be moving my nose and painting with my fucking nose, or my tongue, or my elbow. Or I'll be telling somebody what to do, like Stephen Hawking. I'll always be painting. I'll always be working. You know why? Because I love to work. I love to learn. I'm not waiting to, that's it. Don't want to think about nothing, sit on the beach and rot, and everything's been thought of, and I'm part of the generation. I'm from the tequila daiquiri generation. Sit on the beach, I'm in retirement. I really strongly believe, more than in a globe, that this is a big, huge geothermal pond with continental lands that have been created by a magnetic meteor that came through the Van Allen, or the electrical emanation between two dimensions of temperature, the one below us, which is liquid hot magma, and the one above us, which is a gaseous cold dimension, and on it creates a crust, just like your skin. Underneath your skin is you've got your lava, which is your hot blood, and then outside you got your room temperature. If it's too hot, your skin's going to melt off.
Yeah.
Like if it got too hot, like where the land would melt, or the lava would come up, or whatever. So basically we're in this huge sort of pond, this huge swamp, a massive swamp. So I say, we go from ocean back to small. At the bigger scheme, or the bigger scope of this whole thing, this is a big, huge earth pond with oceans and seas and land masses, and it's just ice all around it. And then there's another one, and there's some sort of connection between a magnetic rock that's sinking in the north and this orb, this sun. Did you ever hear that one?
Yeah, I read. Yeah, like a giant static charge.
Yeah, static charge going both ways.
Yeah, going both ways.
Yeah, going both ways. So there's a convection of thermal magnetic heat with this magnetic point in the north that this thing seems to be attracted to, the sun, which is oscillating around it, and they're exchanging energy. And this energy exchange is kind of dictating the seasonal cycles of the lavic forces underneath the crust. Did you know that volcanic activity in the northern hemisphere only happens in the, I believe, in the summer?
I did not know that.
Yeah, but we could say that's because where the moon is, it's either the summer or the winter. Once again, a lot of information here. We're talking about the whole world. You got to know the model of globalism and all of science, and then to imagine the other, the other possibility, and then work out the kinks of that. So it's a lot of information. But yes, there is a seasonal, cyclical pattern with volcanic activity. So underneath the Earth, this pond, there's like a force that is in a seasonal cycle of how lava boils up and boils back down. And I believe it's between there's a convective sort of exchange between the sun and the magnetic point we call the magnetic north.
Huh.
And I think that is what creates life in this pond. And then there's another pond across the ice and another pond, and I'm wondering how many ponds this alien elite or this group actually control, and they tell each one, oh, it's a globe. Like that's their model. Like maybe that's their model. And so they see the nation state as just a savage tribe, and they're just trying to get through the hurdles of getting it to under one governing authority for the whole pond. So the last century or 2 centuries is about getting rid of these tribes, which are nation states. So you have one governing authority over that section. Move on, next one. And who knows? But then again, maybe this is the only one that they're testing it out before they can, get everybody servile to go on an expedition. I have no idea. This is extrapolation at this point. But there are something like 18 million children that are kidnapped a year. It's a big number. Without a trace. They're not in the sex ring. They never show up again. Gone. And we know that the Crown in the Commonwealth has ripped children from their families to go settle in Australia and in Canada. Because the parents didn't pay their taxes on the land as serfs, and they tried to say they were drunkards. They ripped the kid out of the family, sent him on a ship to go settle.
Huh.
A lot of kids go missing. And
and since there's so many different reasons that people could come up with, nobody, and not that many people talk to each other, you'd never figure out that it was any sort of giant thing, that was coordinated. And
the best thing to do is when you want to program a human being, you do it from the early age.
Of course, yeah.
So,
I know that.
Child soldiers, child settlers, or just globalism in general.
Yeah.
Where you at, buddy? Told you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Told you all this shit was going to happen when we last had a hangout. I said the disinformation agents are going to start flooding in. And it was after that all these videos went up with Mark Sargent. And your points are all relevant. I'm talking to Mark Sargent. He's got a great demeanor, but obviously I've been profiled, so they're going to send in somebody very empathetic if he is disinfo or if he's going through a learning curve. He did contact me, I believe, and I got to source it out on one of my emails about 1.5 years ago. I think. The name rings a bell from 1.5 years ago, and I didn't respond. I don't respond. It was only like in 2000... Well, January, basically. That's when I said, all right, let's do it. Let's start reaching out and see where this is going because, and I'm still on the fence on all sorts of groups, but I'm pushing the whole thing further. I'm joining whatever, except Enzio Ferrari and this group out of Britain, which never has contacted me. So I'm just involved with everybody. This whole disc thing, I kind of warned you about this, is going to feed into the conspiracy here. The conspiracy, they don't give a shit if it's a globe or if it's a flat pancake. As long as people don't question the amount of land that they've shown. The whole operating conspiracy here is real estate. Since the American Colony Revolt, the Royals, the papacy, the Jesuits, who are sent in to new land to convert spirituality, before armies go in and eradicate a culture, it's either they take the conversion to they become Vaticanized, or whatever, Christians, or they send in the armies and they wipe out the Iroquois. Or they give them blankets with plagues. 18 million kids get kidnapped approximately every year, without a trace. They're not in a sex ring. There's nowhere. Now we know that the Crown of England uses orphans and child settlers. We know we use children for child soldiers. And children are great because you can program them like that, right? As we all know with globalism. So there's a lot of kids that go missing every year. And I believe since the colony revolt against the Crown and the oligarchs, this has been the strategy, is to don't let them know. Also, can you afford to spray yourself, the entire planet, with chemtrails? Okay? And what the fuck happened here? What happened here? Why did he just fucking... What happened there? What happened there? What the fuck just happened there? What is going on here with these people? What's going on here? You know what? I'm about to fucking drop out of this whole thing. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. I can't connect with anybody here. He couldn't fucking hear me. I heard him though. I fucking heard him. What the fuck is going on here? I'm using the fucking devil's toy here. This is bad on my fingers. I gotta fucking paint. Oh man, I got clients waiting for me, and they're really good clients. I can't believe this. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
I can't make calls.
It just crashed last time.
No, I can't call anyone. Can you hear me now? I won't be able to do any interviews. I won't be able to do any interviews or upload from this computer.
It's choppy.
Yeah, it's choppy. I'm in a fucking 5-star hotel with fucking
I'm hearing some of what you're saying.
I'm in a 5-star hotel with 5-star Wi-Fi, the high-speed Wi-Fi. So it doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it.
Yeah, well, no, it's everybody else and all the other suites got high
I'm high
speed.
speed too. I got my own connection. Between the two of them.
Yeah, well, look, if you're pointing at the Freemasons, whatever, I'm pointing at the papacy and the royals, and the Masons are probably their underlings. Problem is there's a lot of people in the Freemasons that do a lot of good work, and they're not aware of what's going on at the top. So I kind of stay away from that mine on the minefield, and I could point, shake a stick at certain things. I don't know the research you got. I know that everybody's pointing at them. Connection lost on that. That's great. This is all about breaking connections. I think back about the love of my life. Humiliated me. The biggest fucking battle of man's history. Human history. Whatever you want to call this fucking body. Alone. Try this one more fucking time. Just this like bad. Fuck. Try again. Huh. Wow. Try this again. Try this again. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh.
See how long this...
Fucking.
Not long, apparently.
Yeah, well, hold on. Because I did hear you.
Yeah, it seems like those delays keep fading in and out.
Yeah, this is all about wasting our time. And making us do things 4 or 5 times with our fingers. I need my fingers to paint. And they keep hiding icons on the computer screen. I keep losing a signal. I thought I was going to load a film this week from here, like a 2-hour film, to sort through a lot of this psyop. They don't give a shit here if it's flat or a ball, as long as you don't know there's more land. That's the conspiracy. Did you hear that? Did you hear what I said?
For a video that you're looking at uploading.
Yeah, but I guess I'm waiting for those words to come through the Jesuit who's listening through the little closet, our confessions. Did you... Connection lost on Jesuit. Black robes are probably fucking... It's not even like intelligence agencies. It's like the intelligence. Spiritual intelligence agency. They would be the only ones creepy enough to fucking like spy on somebody, like try and expose the lie about the globe. Castrated little pedophile Jesuits. Man. I gotta go back to work. That's the one you live on, right there. This is another one. They do the security between here. There's the Deception Island security entry point there. Planes go like this, around that little ice cap to Africa. That's the part they fly over the Antarctica right there. There you go. Everything works. They got you going around in circles. And then the perimeter is all here. All 47 nations are around it. Okay? Anybody comes in unauthorized or goes past this naval point for these 47 nations, okay, their boat gets sunk. I'm sorry if Australia's too small. I went over by accident. I'm so sorry. You people are arrogant. I'm kidding. But, okay, so this is the ice between this geothermal Earth and the next one. And then they patrol all around here too, and they sell them the globe. The globe, so is they don't go anywhere because they think there's all the land is there. That's the point of the globe. Flat, it leaves open too many questions if it's finite. Don't you get it? So they went from flat, square, because they were lying. They didn't want you to know about this, and they made it a globe. That way you wouldn't question Antarctica. And then they do staged events of people trekking, but they're all part of the same body of scientists and military. So we want to go like here, we want to go this way. It's an infinite plate with many geothermal Earths spotted across this great plate of ice, and it's warmed by a celestial orb called the Sun, pulling out heat from a magnetic meteor in the top that actually hit the ice, made this hole when it came through the Van Allen belt between the magmic dimension below, the ice, and this one here. Airspace. Cold, air, gaseous space. And molten magmic liquid under the ice. The two meet and they form a skin. The length of infinity, it is expanding. The molten magma comes into contact with the gaseous air, and it makes a plate, a flat plate that keeps expanding. Two forces of temperature. You're in that. Beyond that, I can't tell you. Pretty small. Could be in a big body. Think about it. At a microscopic level in your brain, is it liquid or is it air? Now, these people think they're on a globe. These people on their continents think they're on a globe. And these people might start be waking up and make a trek across the ice to these people with a greater distance to these people. I think it'd be better if we go this way because we're going to be coming in blindly from every angle because we're not going to get any help trying to find which way is this way. The quickest way between 2 points. Now they're obviously going to send us all over the place and tell us to follow GPS, and we come back out this way or the same way we came in, just doing a big circle here in the ice and missing this entry because it's so fucking cold and you can die. Because we're away from the sun during the northern hemisphere winter, spiraling this way, okay? And during the northern hemisphere's winter, it's spiraling this way faster and then slowing down for summer season and then descending and spinning out faster, still making a 24-hour day. Got it? And there's one here. Another sun. Another sun. Whether the sun in this pocket has a celestial body called the moon, we still have to figure out what role the moon would play. Maybe it still does work with the tides. Maybe there's two moons here, two suns, I don't know. But most of the heat is from the heat dimension, which is below the ice. And it goes on, I don't know. You'd melt trying to travel through it. So I don't know how they get to the Gobstopper Candy Center with the globe, but that's hot shit underneath there, okay? Look, if I'm being eccentric and funny, it's because it's been 15 years I've been explaining this, okay? And I wanted to see if you would ever figure it out. And you didn't. I explained it a million different times. There's another one over there, probably off camera, okay? I've explained it many times. And no one's imagined what the fuck I'm saying. So A, either it's a combination of that's how bad the brainwash is. You can't imagine another model of plane that you're standing on that doesn't have an edge or a bigger edge and how it would function. So brainwash. Or B, none of you listen. None of you fucking listen. It's been 15 years, okay? I'm clearly explaining this, and no one could imagine it. They're still on a little teacup pancake or the convex sky dome, and they think I'm a shill. Oh, I'm a shill. How's this a shill? This would be the truth. This is me opening the gate to your pen. That the rancher has got you going around in corral circles. Okay? I'm opening up the gate to freedom of exploration. Okay? It starts with the question, then it's a mission. Okay? No, it's not a triangle. I just did that so I can get into the fucking frame. South. Boat. Gas. Provisions. Team of 100 people. Witnesses. We're going to have a cable. We're going in a straight line. We're going to be spiking the cable every 50 or 100 miles, depending on how far we can get with the cable, in a straight line. Now, if the Earth is a ball, we can estimate when we're going to come through the South Pole, completely across, even that stupid little GPS global positioning system point, and then continue. Not go to the point, high five, and then come back the way we came in. Keep going. And I'm dropping off my team every time I put a spike in the cable. And they're going to watch that spike for a certain amount of time, a couple weeks, 2 weeks, and they're going to fall back to the original position while the team gets smaller and smaller as we go further forward. This is if we don't hit the other coastline, like they say on a globe. And won't that look be precious when I walk into the cafeteria in the Snowcat to watch scientists that are with me, globalists that are with me, because I'll have a few doubting Thomases on board just for the drama. And see their looks on their faces when we don't hit the coastline. I'm not going in the way that the Southern Polar Authority tells me. If they do tell me to go in a particular way, I'm going to ask a barrage of questions as why that way only. Because the goal here is I could go in any way and get across. Will they even entertain having a meeting with me? I'm the Admiral. I'm the only one. I'm going to raise some money here because I'm going to be painting money and then selling the Kennedy bills at live shows. I'm going to expand the NASA channel. I'm going to get other players, other correspondents, because I'm going to need people to cover stuff while we go on this expedition. What is this expedition going to take place? I don't know, but we need a lot of money. Because it's not a ball. So that's a long effing journey into night. Cold, cold night. And I want to do it in comfort and security. Solar panels on the roof of the Snowcat. Enough food and gas. Big enough roof on the Snowcat to land like a Cessna and a helicopter for emergencies. To go scout up ahead before the cat gets there. Before the weight of the cat can compromise a fault line in the ice, and a huge sheet goes sliding down a big, huge crack. Cracks could be 2,000 feet deep. 2,000 feet deep cliffs, 100-yard spaces between this edge of the cliff to the next edge. Crack. No sunlight. We got mountains that are taller than any mountain on Earth. 10 miles high. Just ice on top of ice. Yeah, I bet going to the moon was easier. All you had to do was go in a studio in Albuquerque. We're outside Albuquerque, we know where. Area 51. That's where you shoot all this stuff. Jupiter Room, all this stuff. So, it's going to be funded through live shows, it's going to be funded through the NASA channel, and it's going to be funded through the rights to film the expedition and then broadcast it. How can I be a shill if I started this? How can I be my own controlled opposition? In 2011, there were 6 videos on YouTube about the Earth being flat. Well, no, there was 5 videos, and then there was a whole channel, my channel. And I took the NASA channel to be a brat, because it's an acronym. Now, it seems to me a tactique by shills so that we can't detect the shills, to call anybody who starts a movement a shill. So anybody who calls me a shill is the shill. They're confusing you. Not for long, I'm going to clear it up. I don't have a script. Because this is really what I want to do. I really mean this. I really want to go in a straight line across the South Pole. And try to help them prove the Earth is a ball, I guess. Because you could have a whole channel dedicated to space. You could have NASA cable television, a whole 24/7 channel. But if you don't have real-time surveillance camera of the Earth spinning in real time as a ball in 2015, time's up. It's back to 6 ships, like Columbus, heading straight for the South Pole. Because it seems to be happening there. That's how we're going to pay for this. We're going to film it. We're going to sell the rights to broadcast this either on television or in theaters worldwide. Right now, our outreach between myself, Eric Dubé, we're coming in on 120 million. Yeah, you might see some videos at 5,000 views, but when you add them all up, 200 videos, 30,000 here, 100,000 there. Opening weekend, 120 million people show up at $10 a head. It's a nice profit. So retroactively, whoever's going to fund the expedition gets a piece of that. And you know how else we're going to fund this? People are going to be able to bet against me or for me in Vegas. That's right. You're going to be able to bet whether it's a ball or if it's flat. The windfall is greater if I win, but how many people are actually going to bet money on me? That's where it gets interesting. So from Vegas to Tahoe to every Indian reserve to Monaco to every casino worldwide, people will be able to sit, have a cocktail, gamble, play blackjack, poker, and watch the screen to see when I hit that coastline. And I'm going to get my take from every casino. I'm going to need $1 billion here because it ain't a ball. And I'm going to drop off my team the further and further deep into dark night of the Antarctic I go until I hit that other geothermal Earth. You think I'm mad, huh? Well, they call Columbus mad. And I'm not going to stop at your Apollo 17 photo. And all this science that's backed by that photo. Try to say the Earth is a ball without NASA. What do you got? It wasn't until 1969 they actually were able to see if it was a ball. You could have a whole channel, NASA, dedicated to outer space and show shots of people suiting up in astronaut gear and tinkering with weird instruments and at their desk and looking at screens and computer graphics, but you don't have real-time surveillance camera footage of the Earth spinning as a ball in 2015. Well, time's up. See, I ain't no shill because there's no script. This is really pouring out of my intention. I'm not hiding behind a camera. I'm not attacking myself in order to garner views to some stupid model that we live in a teacup. Let's say a lot of people show up to the live show that I'm going to be doing until I hit critical mass. That's right. The Flat Earth Conspiracy Live, hosted by JFK, will be coming to a city near you. And if you want to help me put on a show, Roadhouse style in a warehouse, late at night, where we can party on me painting the flat Earth on a dance floor, you call me up. We'll book a show in your town. And we'll raise the monies. And I'll put you on that snow crawler when I go south. Now, we don't know which way we're going to have to go in and which way we should go in to actually get the trajectory to the next geothermal Earth or Atlantis. So we need a lot of gas, we need a lot of food, we need a lot of instruments, we need a lot of equipment. We need a big team that are going to slowly drop off and then relay back to certain points to get to the main operation as we go further in. This is a big deal here because we're not going to hit the other coastline. And I'm going to have a few doubting Thomases, some scientists and some globalists on my team. Some experts from the South Pole. See if they want to be some Judases and, sabotage. We'll have our eyes on them. I have moles all over the place. I have moles in the military, the Air Force, NASA, arts community, on Facebook, in Facebook groups, all over the world. This thing is spreading like a spider web. And you want to call me a shill? Isn't that the perfect tactic for a shill? Right away say, how do you say you're not a shill when you're a shill? Call the guy who started the movement a shill. I mean, I see you coming a mile away. So, live shows, critical mass. Selling tickets, come see the show, and I'll convince your neighborhood that it's flat. You watch me. I've been doing this for 15 years. The rights to shoot the film by any network or movie house, creative control, obviously, on our side. Not some network or movie house. So, it might be independent, but it's going to hit all the theaters. Opening weekend, we have 120 million people right now, with all the videos and all the talk and all the rumors. $10 a head. That's a pretty big opening weekend. And we're going to place the bets in Vegas. Yeah, you'll be able to bet against me or for me. The point spreads will be 50 million to 1. That it's flat. So from Vegas to Tahoe to every Indian reserve across North America to Monaco to every casino around the world, people will be able to play blackjack and poker and then check in on the expedition as I move south in a straight line to see if we hit that coastline. And we'll see the clock ticking when I'm supposed to hit it, like the globalists told you. Either I'm going to be the biggest fool and this will be a great educational tool for centuries to come, or we are going to make a utopia and break out of this slave state. Push comes to shove, I'm showing up with briefcases full of cash to pay my bond to do a double traverse straight across that continent for scientific and artistic reasons. If anything, I'm just backing up all the science of the past 5,000 years. the glory of man's achievement. Or I'm going to shatter everything, but open up romance to a new world. I know they're hiding land. So right now, all I need is someone to finance this. The money's in the Vegas take, percentage from each casino house, the rights of all the footage to be cut, and edited, and broadcast in cinemas around the world. So all I need is a billionaire to guarantee my loan. And you'll get a nice interest rate, a nice percentage on this whole thing. You're not going to lose your shirt. You're not going to lose a cent, even if I do fail. So, looks like it's a game of chicken. Who's the billionaire?